Did that T-shirt you're wearing used to be mine, or did it used to be yours?
Well, I think it used to be ours. Possibly you bought it, but when we were together.
Okay. Well,
But-
I am wearing one of your shirts. Where did you get this from?
Oh, I bought that online. That's a clothing company, a British clothing company, P&Co.
Okay.
In case they want to sponsor the podcast.
Is it an ethical company?
Well. So who knows? After last week's episode, is anything ethical really?
Nothing is. But welcome to another episode of Tell Me Where I'm Going Wrong, a podcast where two exes who are still really good friends talk about a whole range of topics, including ethics, love, politics, pop culture, and so many other things. My name is Sean, and the other host is named Josh, and that's Josh there. How are you?
Hi, good day, Sean. I'm fine, thank you. As I was just telling you before, I'm a little hungover from my work Christmas party last night. But apart from that, I'm okay. And you are in Australia.
I am. I'm in Brisbane, Australia, and it's very warm and sunny and just lovely. Just an incredible, I don't know what you call it, like a lifestyle, like a quality of life.
Okay.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
I am sitting in the darkest room, weirdly, for one of the sunniest places on the planet.
In the Sunshine State.
I'm in the Sunshine State, but I'm in the darkness room.
Is
And-
Queensland beautiful one day, perfect the next? Was that the slogan for Queensland tourism?
Yeah, click, clack, front and back.
No, that was
What was that other one you liked about the anti-drink driving one?
drink, drive, break late, dead mate. Love the Aussie. Love
It's
the
so funny,
Aussie,
like-
hooks.
I think that I sound Australian, but when I speak to people here in Brisbane, I sound like the Queen of England has resurrected from the dead. Like I sound like this posh English person compared to how people speak. And it's
Yeah.
weird because it's even just things like what are some Australianisms that people say, like, oh, instead of saying, oh, my friend, some people here say me, like, oh, me friend or me mate.
Really? I don't remember that.
But it's like a very regional sort of thing, it's not.
I would say because I think your accent is still relatively Australian, but I think it's
Yeah.
maybe that you've adopted more of an English English, not jargon, slang, but things like that, like peculiarities about the English language, like people in Australia say things like "but" at the end, like they'll say, oh, I don't know, but like things like that, or people go up at the end of their sentence, and maybe you've just, after years and years of being in London, maybe you've eschewed all of your.
I don't think that I used to speak that pronounced Australian twang even back in the day. And when I talk to my sister Michelle here, she doesn't talk like that either. She doesn't talk with the really Australian drawl. But when I go out and I see people or I meet up with friends, and people are talking like so Brisbane. It's so weird to me. I feel very on the outs.
And we may as well peel off the Band-Aid now, Sue. But I'm seething with jealousy that you went to see Lady Gaga last night.
Wow. Yeah, we spoke last time about our slight disappointment with the situation in Paris, because if you didn't see that episode, just a quick recap, not a CPAP recap, but a Gaga recap. We were not blown away by the crowd behavior. Even like the sound of the concert was a little lackluster in Paris.
But
Uh,
more than anything, it was our position. No,
we
we were
couldn't
on
see
the
anything.
floor and we couldn't see shit. Um,
Well, this last night, it was chaotic getting in. Now, the venue where I saw Gaga is called Suncorp Stadium, and it's mostly used as a rugby league, which, for those not in the know, is a type of sport here in Australia and around the world. And it's a venue for the the home team of Brisbane, the Brisbane Broncos, who play rugby league. And so it's a massive stadium. I think when it's not being used as a concert venue and they use all the seating in the round, I think it's about 70 or 80,000 people. Last night it was that because of the stage being at one end and a lot of the seats not being in use, there were about 52,000 people there. And it was just marvelous seeing it outside, like under an open sky, like I could see the stars above, and also just the warm weather, like it was still in the high 20s. But going in, it's like they didn't organize it properly. And this being tell me where I'm going wrong. Of course, I'm talking about a wonderful, marvelous experience, but I'm
I
going to
know.
start
I'm
by
like,
complaining.
yeah.
I'm giving you the full experience, see. But there was no order to the queuing system. So imagine 52,000 people going through about 8 different gates, and there were no signs or telling people where to go. So
Well, I
people were
don't think they have many concerts. Well, obviously, I haven't lived in Brisbane for over a decade, but I remember when I
you
did live
are
in
an
Brisbane.
expert.
hmm But when I did live in Brisbane, I don't think they allowed many concerts because it is such a residential area. Like
Yeah,
there are houses literally like right up against the stadium. And it's quite a posh area as well.
yeah.
And yeah, I think maybe they just don't have many concerts there. I don't know if that's still the case, but that was the case back in the whenever it was, the 2010s.
So anyway, it took so long to get inside that the scheduled starting time that they'd said, and they always tell you earlier, but it said 7 p.m.
Mm,
I think the stadium was not even half full because
really.
everybody was outside. They couldn't get in. And there were people messaging and posting online saying, "This is chaos. I don't know how to get in to the stadium." And the the show started and I could see where we came in, like the one entrance for where we were standing. There were people still streaming in by their dozens or hundreds about 3 or 4 songs into the concert.
Oh, really?
So
Oh,
those
that's sad.
people would have
Yeah.
missed. Yeah, I felt so bad for them. But saying that, there were on the floor, there were 2 standing general admission standing section, and we were in the front standing section. And
So
I was ma
interesting because I thought that's the tickets we had in Paris, but clearly we didn't. But
yeah. And
um,
I got to about the end of that catwalk that comes out. There were about 8 or 10 people between me and the end of the catwalk, and it was just such the most amazing view, and so anytime she was up the end of that catwalk, which is a lot of the concert,
mhm.
I could just see her standing right there, and it was incredible.
Did
Also
you?
oh, sorry, you go.
But I was going to say, did you get a sense of? I mean, it would be very hard, I suppose, without you know, without being able to move back. But did you get a sense that the stage was any higher than it had been in the Paris
Oh, no,
concert, or
it looked lower, like,
really? So
it was
yeah,
so low to the ground, if also, do you know at concerts where if they have to run electrical cords, say from the stage to
the sound desk.
the mixing desk, they'll
Yeah,
put it under one of those like conduits or like
yeah.
sort of hard plastic walkways that just are raised about 2 inches, and then they
Mm,
have the sloping sides, so it's very low to the ground. I stood on that. So
yeah,
I was just 2 inches above what I would normally be, and it made all the
yeah.
difference.
That's
But what
where else
well
did I do that? I think when we went to see Beth Ditto in Mexico City, I think I did
mhm.
that. I think I stood on the
But
little
once again, it was like anybody even half a foot shorter than me, I don't think could see anything. Like
yeah.
there were
So it is
people
a bit of a design flaw then in the
yeah, and it must be.
tour.
I mean, for short people, it must just be a thing no matter how tall the stage is, because if
Well,
somebody is a foot taller than you,
hmm
all you can see, no matter how tall the stage is the back of their head. So, and I know I went with Derek and Derek's friend Philippa, but Philippa was significantly shorter than me. And I
hmm
just think she struggled a lot to see any of it. But of
okay.
course, Derek is taller than me and he could see everything the whole time. Like he had no problem. But yeah, in Paris, the sound was quite lackluster. Do you remember? It
hmm
was, this was incredible. Like this was like booming every beat. You could feel the music vibrating on you,
mm,
and
okay.
it was just a different experience. It was like it saved the memory for me of this tour.
So I'm seething with jealousy.
And of course, she sang an acoustic version of "Edge of Glory" at the piano, and she also at the piano, she did a full band, like, the band came forward to the end of the catwalk with her, and she did a full musical version of "Rain on Me," because she has done that as an acoustic ballad at the piano, but this
Oh,
one, they all joined in and sort of jammed and did a full band, like, a
yeah.
four-piece band version of "Rain on Me,"
Yeah.
which was great.
Well,
Um,
because there are no other songs from Chromatica in that set list, are there?
I don't think so, but then, she does the sort of the final farewell bow song where she just walks around. It was that song "Free Woman" from Chromatica, and but
Okay.
during she was about to sing "Die with a Smile," and she had a sneezing attack at the piano, and she was sneezing about 10 times in a row and couldn't stop, and everyone was cheering, and it was very funny. But it, it's interesting. Do you know when you used to go see people from outside of Australia, when they come and they tour in Brisbane, they always pronounce it Brisbane,
hmm
and she must have been
Brisbane, Melbourne.
yeah, she must have been coached, and what a perfectionist she is. She was pronouncing it Brisbane, and then
hmm
she quite a lot of the times through the show. I mean, the whole "put your hands up, put your paws up." I've never heard her say it more. It was about 150 times, but she kept screaming, "Brizzy, Brizzy, put your fucking
Oh,
paws up, Brizzy," and which
I
is a
love it.
colloquial nickname for Brisbane for anyone from
Yeah.
here. And then, there was this weird thing she said, and someone must have told her it was a saying that people say here, but she said, "Are you here to party, Brizzy? Because we didn't come here to fuck spiders." And I've not heard that, but the crowd roared, like, maybe it's a thing that people say here?
Maybe,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe it's like a what I mean, there are so many of those. I think might have even talked about it on the podcast before. So many of those like catchphrases or things that people say, like things that people said on Big Brother, or there was that guy, who was the party guy,
Corey,
Corey. So,
I
yeah,
can't remember his
all
name.
these things that just become like almost like the precursors of memes.
Mhm.
Stuff that videos that would just kind of go viral, but before we really had like mobile phones and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
But
so yeah,
do you
maybe
know
that's one of them.
we talked about last time or the time before about that guy who ran and grabbed Ariana
hmm
Grande.
Yeah,
He was at this concert last night, and just before the concert started, Gaga's security team got the security of the venue to take him out.
really. Did you
And
see that
he's
happen?
no, like this morning I woke up and there was all footage of it happening on social media. But he was when he first came in, he was wearing a wig, a fake moustache, and glasses. There's photos fans took, and they recognized him, and they apparently told the venue security, and the venue security didn't do anything, and so
Mhm.
then there's super fans down the front called out to Gaga's security, personal security chief, and told him, and he went and had this guy removed.
Oh, really?
So,
Wow.
very dramatic, and then there's video footage of this guy being taken out by security.
Good.
But I mean, that's just like so terrifying that, people, even when they've had all that attention and all of that negative press and feedback from the world, that they want to just keep pushing it further and further.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well.
anyway, that was my Gaga experience. And I'm very happy, and
Hooray
it
for
just.
you.
But coming back from the gig, because it's walking distance from where I'm staying with my
Yeah.
sister, but a lot of the streets were closed, and Derek, Philippa, and I were trying to walk back to South Brisbane, like South Bank area,
Hmm.
and we ended up walking all around, like down to Coronation Drive and back around and over the Goodwill Bridge, the Go-Betweens Bridge, and it took so long to get home just walking. I ended up doing like 20,000 steps or something yesterday, so I'm very worn out and but also
Wow.
elated. And today there's a vegan burger business called Grass Fed Burgers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right around the
Here,
corner from Michelle's
yeah.
place,
Well,
isn't it?
that shut down, but they now have a food truck that does the markets, and they're doing one in the Queen Street Mall today. I'm going to
Mm.
go over as a post Gaga celebration. Go and have a nice vegan
And
burger.
are you going? You're going down the coast soon?
I am going down the coast at some point. I can't work out when I'm doing it. I don't know. Do you know when you have to commit? I don't know if this is an ADHD thing because I've not been diagnosed, but I really struggle to commit to definite plans
Hmm.
because to me, once the plan is definite, it can't be swayed. So if
Yeah,
I agree to something, I have to do it, even
yeah.
if it's inconvenient. And so I am hesitant to commit to a plan,
Hmm.
and I just go round in circles chasing my tail.
It's it's an interesting discussion. I don't know, maybe it's one that we have a whole episode on or something, but I sometimes feel very overwhelmed with it. I live my life from lists. I have a list of things I need to do every day,
Yeah,
and every Sunday I update my list. And I'm so dependent on that list. I have to put the most basic things on, otherwise I will forget to do them.
yeah,
And like a few weeks ago, I think it was, or a month ago, when I forgot to upload the podcast. Do you remember? And
yeah,
I said to you, I don't know how, but it wasn't on my list. And even though I've been doing it every single, Sunday night for the last year and whatever, year and a half nearly,
yeah.
I still, just because for some reason it slipped off my list, I didn't do it. And so it's this weird kind of, I don't know, I don't know if paradox is the right word, but it's this weird thing where I need that list. And in some ways, it gives me comfort having a list because
Yeah.
when I'm, flailing mentally and I think I just need to look at my list and do things on my list. But then at the same time, I feel very resentful towards the list. At the same time, I feel like really bound by the list. And I just sometimes think I don't want a fucking list in my life. I want to like throw my phone in the ocean and not
Have
have
you
a
tried
list.
it? Have you tried a different format of listing? So reminders on your phone.
Yeah, there's a whole sort of school of thought around people with ADHD, and I think particularly ADD, but I don't know. Which and there's an app or a software that's been developed with this in mind, and it's
Mhm.
color coded, and so
Yeah,
it is a list, or it's a yeah, it is a list or an organizational tool, but it's color coded, and
yeah.
so I haven't really looked into it much, but I think maybe that might be a better.
But already that sounds complicated to me. Like, oh,
Yeah, I know.
now I've got to learn what the colors are for.
Yeah, but like you were saying about making, committing to plans, it's very stressful. It's this indecision is sort of the um. I was going to say indecision paralysis, but I don't know. Is that maybe not the nicest term to use? But I'm trying to
Maybe
think of
not.
I'm trying to think of a
There
more
would be
appropriate term to
a
use.
yeah, there would be a term like some sort of
But
thought block sort of thing.
but well, you know from our time together that I struggle to even choose food from a menu in a restaurant. I get so
Hmm.
overwhelmed and I'm so scared to commit to something. So I wonder if it's similar for you talking about like having to commit to going down the coast on a particular day. Um,
Yeah, it's just it feels overwhelming to
Mhm.
make the commitment to do something.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yawning. How rude of me.
And
It is
saying that,
very
like
late. It's very
I'm
late at night
also
here.
I'm getting better at changing plans. So I was meant to go and stay at Derek's place with Derek and Sean,
Mhm.
and I've just said, actually, I might not do that. Like I'm just kind of just going with the flow, and I do feel a bit more relaxed.
Mhm.
I don't know. There's something about I know that I'm trying to like romanticize Brisbane because I'm here and I'm like have plans to move here. I feel a lot more relaxed here than I do in London, and I don't know what all of the elements of that are, but I don't find it a very relaxing city to be in. I
London.
find it, yeah, I find it quite high, um, like not emotion, but like kind of a little bit strung out. That's how I feel when I'm there.
Okay.
And of course, being somewhere that's a lot more laid back has its drawbacks as well, because it's not as maybe culturally exciting or it's not as dynamic. But
Mm.
there's something that it does to my sense of equilibrium where I'm just a lot more relaxed here.
Mm.
And maybe it's easier for me to make flippant decisions or change my mind. But
Mm.
yeah. Um, what do you remember of the vegan food scene in Brisbane?
Well, apart from the trip 3 years ago, I think, when I went
Yeah.
back for the first time, I left Brisbane in 2009. And back then, I'm trying to remember, there was the forest in West End.
Yeah.
Um, there were, I can't remember what they were called, but there was that couple that used to sell Dagwood dogs at the uh, West End markets. What were
Oh,
they
yeah,
called?
forgot about that. I can't remember.
It's
Yeah,
like a
that'd
it
be
was a
great.
word. There was a word play involved. I can't remember something
I
about cows or moos, like moo or
was it
something
something
about
about oh, yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, I love those. They were wonderful.
yeah, yeah, really delicious. Dagwood dogs for those outside of Australia is what would you call it? Like a corn dog in the US.
A
It's
corn
a
dog
sausage battered and deep fried.
on a stick,
On a stick. Yeah,
and some people call them Pluto Pops, I
I've
think,
never heard that
somewhere in the
in
US, maybe.
Australia. Oh, in the US.
No, I
Okay,
think in the US or in
okay.
Canada, I'm not sure. So is that it? Are they the sort of main things you can remember?
Well, oh, of course, Loving Hut in Mount Gravatt or
Mm,
whatever.
yeah. Supreme
Um,
Master Ching Hai.
uh-huh. And that was it, really. I well, actually, no, like way back in the day, like going back, I don't know, 15, no, wait, where are we now? 2025. So no, going back 20 plus years, there was Squirrels of Newmarket. Do you remember that?
Yeah, wasn't that a vegetarian
Maybe it was
place?
vegetarian, but it was had a lot of vegan food in a time
Yeah,
when there really was no other vegan food around. Oh, and
yeah.
also quickly the Chinese vegan eat all you can buffet in Sunnybank.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Remember
that.
it in
Like
the mall in
that
the yeah.
yeah, that hasn't existed for a while, has it? So, being here and seeing the evolution of vegan food really has me thinking a lot about the the doom sayings of people online saying that vegan food is on the way out, or it's like
Oh yeah.
really having a crisis and that it's not profitable. But I think it just changes, and I think businesses come and go, and that's more to do with capitalism than it has with veganism falling out of favor. I think when like vegan businesses close, I think if you looked at the rate of vegan businesses closing as compared to non-vegan businesses closing, I don't think it would be higher. I think plenty of non-vegan businesses, food businesses shut all the time. I mean, when I
Mm.
used to live on Old Compton Street, so
Oh
many of those
yeah.
businesses would last like 3 to 6 months and
It
they'd be
was like a
gone, and they were
revolving door, wasn't it?
and and so I think that it's just makes good copy for the press to say that, "Oh, veganism's not popular," but
Oh,
being
for
here
sure.
and in Brisbane, it's, I think, more popular than ever. Like, when I go into the supermarkets here, the mainstream supermarkets, they have big sections of vegan sausages, meat alternatives, like, milk alternatives. It's huge, like really big. Like, you'd be shocked from the time that we used to live here, how much it's increased in the supermarkets. And then
Mm,
also from the food scene point of view, like we just talked about the vegan burger business called Grass Fed, which evolved from a bricks and mortar restaurant back to a food truck.
hmm.
Just around the corner from here, there's a vegan Chinese restaurant called Vegan Restaurant. What a
Wow,
terrible,
so
what a
original.
terrible name. Around like a block and a half from here as well, there's a Mexican restaurant called El Planta, which is 100% vegan. You've got something to
Well,
say about that?
well, you know what Janet Jackson said, Sue. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But that's not for here.
And then yesterday we went over to a store called the Green Edge, which you'll remember. It's like a vegan grocery
It's
store.
still there.
Yeah,
Wow.
it did move location. It used to be in Enoggera, and now it's in Windsor, and it's a really nice vegan grocery store, and they've got, it's all had a lot of renovations, and it's massive. Like, there's 3 or 4 aisles of food. Then they have a huge deli case with all,
Hmm.
like, like when you go into Whole Foods and you can get like pasta salad or roast potatoes, like huge long deli. They've got an ice cream counter. They've got
Hmm.
freezers. They've got a pastry case. It's amazing. I bought a really nice caramel tart in there. But
Mm.
then they've also got a restaurant or a cafe next door to it, like, so the Green Edge Cafe. And we went there for lunch yesterday, and I had like a vegan steak sandwich and chips, and the food was incredible. But there are
And
so many.
Amanda, Amanda,
Oh
who
man,
founded the Green Edge, she
yeah,
sold it, right? It's is it like a
yeah.
vegan couple that bought the business or something,
Well,
wasn't it?
now do you know who owns it? Is do you know Kale, who owned
Mm.
a
Yeah, yeah,
vegan
yeah,
um, founded the vegan meat and cheese company, and that's called
yeah.
Made with Plants. Yeah,
Hmm.
he owns it, and he was there yesterday. I saw him,
Mm.
and then we went out to Everton Park. Do you know where that is?
No.
And there was it's on the north side, and there was a vegan bakery, like 100% vegan bakery called
Mm.
Vegan Yum. I do have to
Okay.
say, some of these vegan businesses do need some cooler names than
Mm.
Vegan Yum, the Green
Vegan
Edge.
restaurant.
But the Vegan Yum, they had like all sort of traditional Australian bakery items,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
cream, jam and cream buns, and uh, even things like vegan egg and lettuce sandwiches and salad rolls, and
Mm.
tons of brownies, and like lemon custard tarts. They had
Did
Christmas
they have
trifle in cups.
what are some really like typical Australian desserts?
Well, to me, and one of my favorites, you might remember this, is Neenish tarts.
Mm.
Do you remember
Hmm.
those? And they were like half
Yeah.
chocolate, half either vanilla or rose colored. And they were kind of like a marzipan thing on top, but it was like, well, it was all just sugar. And
Yeah.
it was like sort of creamy in the middle, and it had a short crust sort of pastry or a dense
Yeah.
pastry.
I think
That
in the
or
States
vanilla.
they have them, but they call them like black and white cookies or something, don't they?
Oh, right. Um, uh, Vanilla slice is very
Oh,
big.
yeah.
So that's like a custardy sort of slice with flaky pastry on top and a short crust
And
pastry on the bottom.
is passion fruit slices like a variation on that, isn't it? It's
I
sort
think
of the
so.
same,
Yeah.
but with passion fruit
Also,
seeds.
cherry ripe slices, because a cherry
Oh.
ripe is like a type of chocolate bar here, but there's a version you get in a, it's kind of like an oat sort of slice with uh, desiccated coconut in it. So it's
Mm.
it's delicious. So they had all of that sort of stuff, and they also had savory items.
Lamingtons.
So
Lamingtons are really
lamingtons are
like,
very big,
yeah.
and I also had a creamy vegan chicken pie because I had
Mm.
pies and sausage rolls in this restaurant. Sorry, bakery, but also 20-second walk from that bakery. So this is out in the suburbs of Brisbane. There was another vegan ramen restaurant. So it was called Neon Ramen. And
Okay.
I didn't realize until I left. I mean, I probably ate too much in the bakery anyway to also go for ramen, but I
Mm.
definitely want to go back out and try that. And so
Hmm.
here, and there's another vegan bakery in Camp Hill. There's places all over, and Loving Hut's still there in Mount Gravatt. And it just got me thinking because these last few months, all I've heard in London is this sort of doom and gloom about, oh,
Mm,
vegan is a failing trend and it's gone. It's on the way out. But being
mm,
here in Brisbane, I've seen so much evidence of the contrary, that
mm,
there are restaurants and businesses thriving, and the amount of products in the stores is incredible. And then I went to Sam Coco's at Annerley, which is a big sort of fruit
yeah.
and veg shop, but also grocery. Sort of, it's a bit cheaper, like a discount
Mm,
market, and so many vegan products, like whole section of vegan cheeses. They had also a
mm,
lot of Mexican products as well, which was great to see. And
mm,
it's weird is it's cheaper than London.
mm.
So there are so many products in there, like even like bags of masa and everything, and it's cheaper than London. Like they had buckets of limes. Like how much is one lime in London?
Well, if you get it for 30p, it's a bargain.
Oh, like if I couldn't even imagine finding one for 30p anymore. I mean, when I go into Waitrose, they're normally between 70 and a pound for one lime,
Really? But
but you can might
that
get
must be
two,
central London prices. I mean, that's outrageous.
maybe. So in the Sam Coco's, they had a bucket of limes. So there were about 20 limes in this bucket, and it was
Mhm.
2.99. So that's
Wow.
about a pound 50.
Yeah, that's
And so
incredible.
there's a lot of like some stores are more expensive, but everything is so much cheaper, and it's
I just had a flashback to thinking about buying vegan food in the supermarkets in Australia, and I've only ever seen it in Australia, and I can't remember what brand it is, but it's tofu with veggies. It's like a block
oh
of
yeah,
tofu. You get it in the
yeah,
supermarket. It's like a block of tofu, but all through it's got like shredded carrot and onion, um, and like herbs or something. Anyway, it's delicious. Like
yeah,
you can just slice it and eat it by the slice. It's
yeah.
delish. Yeah.
So anyway, I feel like this trip here has made me understand that I don't think veganism is a failing trend. I think it's just capitalism that's failing us. Like when we're losing vegan brands or vegan restaurants, it's
Mm.
we're losing brands and restaurants. It's not that they're
Well, I
vegan.
think it speaks volumes about the state of the UK, particularly the
Hmm.
standard of living in the southeast in the London area. I think the cost of living, we talk about it all the time on here, but the cost of living is outrageous in London. Like it's
Oh,
absolutely off the charts. It must be one of the most expensive cities in the world to live in relation to average salaries. And it's no wonder that businesses struggle in London and the rest of the UK, but London
yeah,
particularly. So that's probably, I think Australia is obviously more expensive than it used to be, like everywhere. But I do think that the salaries are higher and things are more generally more affordable in Australia. And so,
yeah. Also, just as a very little example, small example of the cost of living difference, a
mm,
bus ride in London, like a single bus ride, is £1.75.
it's
Is that
so
right?
expensive. Yeah.
Like £1.75, even if you're just going 3 stops down the road,
Hmm.
£1.75. Here in Australia, in Brisbane, it's 50 cents, which is
Wow.
about 25p. How many times more expensive is that? How many 25p's would fit into £1.75? 4, 5,
Six. Mm,
6. 6
yeah.
times more expensive to take the
Yeah.
bus. But
Yeah.
also, the 50-cent fare here is also for the trains, are 50 cents,
Wow.
and
That's
the
ridiculous.
ferries along the river. And
Yeah.
they trialed it a few years back. They trialed it to see if it would encourage um, more people, sort of more sustainable habits of the population.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it did, and it was so successful, and people were so happy with it that they decided to keep it indefinitely. I don't know if it will
Mm,
stay forever, but that
mm.
was the announcement of the government that it
But
would
even if
stay
it
at.
does go up, it's not going to go from 50 cents to $5, is it? You know, it
No,
would go up. maybe
Yeah,
75 cents, which is still a fucking
yeah,
bargain. So,
yeah.
yeah.
So, like, it's like the Australian equivalent of what London is paying. That's what 175 is times two is 350. So yeah, it's 50 cents here, whereas Londoners are paying $3.50 comparatively.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just what, and little things like that that make a difference to your quality of living.
Oh, yeah.
And
I just
so,
realized
well,
when you,
yeah,
when we were talking about 50 cents into, what was that what we were talking
yeah.
about? 50 cents into 175? No.
No,
What were we doing?
25 into 175
Oh, okay. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
20,
Okay.
it's the
Yeah.
equivalent of 25p.
Yeah. Sorry. I realized we
And
did
so
do that.
it's things like that. So if you're saying, okay, I'm paying a seventh of the price for public transport, or I'm getting 20 limes for a pound 50 instead of just, 4 limes or whatever it is.
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
it's things like that that add up. But it's not just about the money you save. It's what it does to your psyche living in somewhere
Yeah.
like London that you're constantly, I just got a gas bill from British Gas and it's like, I don't know, £200 or something for £280 for 6 months or something. I don't
Mm.
ridiculous.
Mm.
And it just chips away at you, doesn't it? Like your ability to stay
And
upbeat.
And this is I've had this on my list of things for a while to talk about on the podcast, and maybe we'll have to do it in a different episode because there are other things I wanted to talk about today. But one of the things that I've really struggled with at the moment in life, and over the past, I don't know, few years, it's really sort of come to a head for me, is that I feel like there are so many things now that you have to pay, like monthly fees that you have to pay. Um, like storage. Like I have photos, videos on my phone, whatever, and
Hmm.
I now have to pay. I can't even remember. I feel like it's maybe £5 plus a month to Apple to
Yep.
back everything up to the iCloud, whatever it's called. Um, there are so many things, and why it came up for me was because I've missed deliveries, many deliveries over the past couple of years. They said they attempted to deliver and they haven't. Anyway, I started looking into getting one of those Ring doorbells so that
Yes.
even if I wasn't home, it would come up on my phone. I could say, take it to the neighbor or whatever. Or if they said they delivered or tried to deliver, I could go back and review it. But it's like, £100 or whatever for the doorbell, but then you have to pay something like 70 quid a year to subscribe to the whatever service provider. So that, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but in relation to what you were saying, it's the cost of everyday things in London wears you down, and
Yep.
it's happening. It's not happening in isolation. It's happening against this backdrop of just more and more fucking subscriptions and things that we have to pay
Yeah.
for in our lives just to fucking exist.
Well,
And yeah.
you're right. Like if I start trying to name, I wouldn't even know what all of my subscriptions are. But if I started to try and name them, and you can tell me if you've got any of these, but like Netflix, right?
Hmm.
And that's going up now, right? They're about to put that up the price.
Mm.
Uh, Spotify. I mean,
Hmm.
maybe some of these we shouldn't use because they're not the most ethical, but I think that's
Wow.
just gone up or is about
Oh,
to go up in
speaking
price.
of Spotify, oh well, yeah, well,
Yeah.
carry on. I'll come back to Spotify.
Things like the subscriptions we need to pay for to make this podcast.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, the things like with my blog, all of the different things that I
Yep.
have to pay for, like
Yeah.
security screening. I mean, it goes on and on. Like I can
Yeah.
name maybe about 20 things that are monthly recurring charges.
Yeah.
And so,
It's
but,
exhausting. It's like physically and mentally exhausting.
and it's
But
just
the
outright, it
thing
just
just
keeps
about
you poor.
Spotify, very quickly about Spotify, and then I want to talk about Stranger Things because, as you probably have noticed, I'm wearing my Stranger Things cap.
Hmm.
But the Spotify thing. So I know I moan a lot on here about Spotify and how they take streams away from me. So one of my songs might get, you know, streams, and then Spotify will be like, "Oh, we're removing them," and then they don't pay me, and it's fine, whatever. It's not going to really make or break me not getting 0.002
Yeah.
cents per stream, but it's still really annoying to see that, you know, people are streaming my music and then Spotify just remove those streams. But it really pissed me off that when they did the Spotify Wrapped thing
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, was it last week, I think? And as an artist, if you've got stuff on Spotify, you get, you know, your Spotify Wrapped about how many, and
Yeah.
it was saying my song By My Side had something like, I remember now, it's like 7.9 thousand streams or something. And I was
Yeah.
like, but they don't pay me for that. Like, if I log in to my artist's account on Spotify, it will say that
Yeah.
that song's had less than 1,000 streams. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
what are
So
you know, are you fucking gaslighting me, Spotify? Are you blowing smoke up my ass? Or has it really had 7.9 thousand streams? And if it has, pay me my fucking £12.
you didn't
Anyway,
come to fuck spiders.
I know Spotify is not listening.
But also with that Spotify Wrap thing, I don't think it even works for
No, I know, it's
like the
fucking
end
rubbish.
user. I mean, some of it was obviously clearly true. Like my top artist was Lady Gaga, but there were other
Oh,
things that
yeah.
I know I listened to a lot more than it said that I listened to. But yeah, my
Yeah.
top five are like Lady Gaga, Fortitude Valley, Lily Allen, John Reese, like
My
Swami, and
my
then
top
my no, I
my
think
Go on.
what's that?
No, I'm
Well, I
saying
was
my
going to
top
just say
five
my
songs. Oh, I think there's a bad delay. I'm just going to keep talking. I think my top
okay.
5 songs were all Gaga, all from the Mayhem album. But I'm not
Yeah,
ashamed.
well, my top five to round out my top five artists. My number five is Luis Miguel.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. One of my top 5 artists of this year, it said, was Margot Price, and I think I only listened to her album twice, so I think it's all rubbish. Anyway, it was not accurate. It was 6.1 thousand plays apparently by my side, but
Okay.
yeah. Anyway,
Hill was very embarrassed when I saw his Spotify Wrapped, and his top podcast was "Tell Me Where I'm Going Wrong."
I know he didn't post it on his Instagram, but he did send me the
No,
screenshot on WhatsApp.
yeah.
Well, hi Hill, thanks for listening on Spotify. Thanks for being our number one.
Mm-hmm.
Now you wanted to talk about Stranger Things, didn't you?
Yes, and you did as well, clearly, because you're wearing this. Which character wore that hat in the first seasons?
Dustin. I don't know if
Dustin.
it was the first season or the second season.
Okay, so a slight recap for anyone who doesn't know, but Stranger Things is it's not comedy drama, is it? Like
I
horror
don't think we need to
drama?
explain it. I think everybody knows what Stranger Things
Yeah,
is, even if they haven't watched
listen,
it.
one thing that I have discovered is that things that I think are the most, is it ubiquitous? Is that the word? Things that I
Hmm.
think that everybody, the most universal things, should I remind you of Labubu, that I think everybody knows because it's a cultural phenomenon.
Well,
People will say to me, I don't know what that is like. Last night in the concert at the Gaga show, she was singing one of her biggest hits. I can't remember what it was. And somebody turned to their friend and said, "What's this song?" And it was really, honestly, it was something like Shallow, or you know what I mean? It was something so hugely popular. And their
but
friend was
but
horrified that they
I
asked them.
but even me, culturally ignorant me, who doesn't know who Labubu is, I know what Stranger Things is. I think it is. Even my mum watches Stranger Things. Um, it's so global, at least in English speaking countries. It's so universal. I don't think we need to explain it. But
Okay, well, you'd think that, but like when somebody I worked with once, I asked them if they knew any Madonna songs, and they said, the only one I know is Padam Padam. And
well,
I was just like,
they
what?
sound like a very very a sheltered individual.
Well, no, but they were like 23 years old, and they were like, I've just never had anyone play me any Madonna music I don't know. And so
Mm,
I think people do exists. You know, when we talked about this a lot, and we will get onto Stranger Things, but everything used to be a lot more tighter and everyone experienced the same things. Like society is very fragmented now, and there are
Mm,
people that don't know. You know, there are people who don't know that Gaga is touring Australia, but they say they love Gaga. You know, people
mm.
get information in such snippets and fragmented. So anyway, I won't waste your time or insult your intelligence by explaining what Stranger Things is, but this is season 5 on Netflix. They've released the first 4 episodes of the season, and then they're going to release another 3 episodes, I think, on Christmas Day, with another one, the finale, to come out on New Year's Day, I think. What is your initial reactions to these first few episodes of the last
And
season?
this is the final season as well. They're not going to make any more
Yes.
after this. I mean, who knows? There may be spin-offs, there may be prequels,
Hmm.
sequels in the future, but for now, this is going to be the final episode, at least with these characters and with these actors, I think. So, I have really enjoyed it so far. The first 4 episodes,
Hmm.
I thought it was a bit of a slow start, but I think that was a very deliberate thing on their part. I think they really built it. I have loved seeing the actors and the characters develop over the last 4 years, 4 seasons, and I mean it's Winona Ryder just steals every scene she's in. She's so amazing. But some of the other actors as well are also incredible. Um, but I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for the next installment on Christmas Day or whenever it is. What about you?
Well, because we're so negative on this podcast, I would like to say that, yeah, I love all of the actors. I think are great, except the kid who plays Will is one of the worst actors I've ever seen in anything
Do
in
you
my
think?
life. I can't even believe that. Like, like laughably bad compared to all the other kids who are sort of acting themselves off screen. Like they're so good. I just don't think he's a good actor. The only thing though he was good was where, spoiler alert, but he had some sort of transformation in one of the episodes, and that wasn't him. It was the special effects and stuff. Like I think he's a terrible actor.
Wow, that's way
He's like
harsh.
he's like Keanu Dracula level of hilariously wooden performance, and
Which
which
also
is very
starred
fitting.
Winona.
Yeah, which is very fitting. She brings out the best in her co-stars. But
Mm,
um, I like it. I cannot watch David Harbour on screen without thinking of the Lily Allen album. I can't. The
mm.
whole time he's on there, lines from her album are running through my head.
Yeah, I
Like I'm
know
like,
that.
Pussy Palace, who the fuck is Madeline? Like I'm just saying it to myself over and over every time he's on screen.
I just keep thinking about the butt plugs reference. Like every scene he's in, I keep thinking about Lily Allen talking about his butt plugs.
I will come back to that in a bit. I want to talk to you about Lily Allen talking about butt plugs, but
Okay.
um, yeah, I think the show is good, entertaining. I don't think it's groundbreaking. Like, I don't think it's like transformational TV, like something like Twin Peaks was. I
Hmm.
think that maybe the first season or two was maybe more engaging because it was new and it felt fresher, but it is still highly entertaining
Hmm.
television. You
Hmm.
know, it's like I want to watch it. And I did watch all 4 episodes sort of pretty much back to back
Hmm.
because it's exciting and you want to know what happens. But the it's so strange how much older all of these kids look now in the space of these 4 years. And I think some of them, like
Well, because
Joe,
it's been more than 4 years, it's been 4 seasons, but they've taken longer than a year sometimes between
yeah,
seasons. So I can't
they
remember
also
what
did a
year. I
time
think,
jump,
well,
right?
funnily enough, I think you and I were still in a relationship when Stranger Things started. Um, I'm pretty sure I remember watching the first episode with you here in my mum's house, um,
Yeah,
in her living room, and it was so creepy and it was so full of suspense. And something happened, like there was a power cut. Do you remember there was a power cut in the middle
yeah.
of us watching that first episode, and it was just felt really spooky, and it made us all squ- um, skittish.
No, I don't remember that. But
Oh.
you know, these actors who are playing these teenagers, older, like Joe Keery, who plays
Mm.
Steve.
Steve, yeah.
He's 33 years old,
Mm.
and it's, I mean, it's not Grease levels of age disparity. Like fucking Rizzo looked about like 59 or whatever. Like it it is, but these, yeah, a lot of these actors were adults. You know, obviously the main children were children when they first started recording, but
Mm.
a lot of those, the sort of older teenagers, were actually in their 20s and 30s.
And I
And
read, I don't know how true this is, I haven't tried to verify it, but I've read that in this season during filming, they used a lot of sets that were oversized to make them appear physically smaller than they actually are. Whether
yeah,
that's
well, I
true or
think
not,
they
I'm
have.
not sure.
Yeah, I saw something. I mean, this is all TikTok brain rot that people do videos to try and explain the secrets of Stranger Things, but especially for the children who are meant to be younger than they are, they put them in clothes that are baggier,
Yeah,
so maybe
yeah.
like their development doesn't show, or like the people's breasts or people's muscles, which would be bigger
I'm just
for
thinking,
a
I
child
always
that
think of
age.
that what's his name? Buscemi.
Hmm.
That
In
will be
30 Rock.
Stranger Things season 17. It'll be what's
So
her
yeah,
name? Sadie Sink? No, what's her name? Was that her name? Sadie Sink? The one who plays
I
I can't remember the character's name now.
the one who had the Kate Bush song for
Yeah, the
her.
one who moved from California. Um
I I'm really enjoying it, but I won't be sad when it's over. Like, it's just, I'm enjoying it for
yeah.
what it is.
It's
Whereas,
time to end
y-
it, isn't it, I think.
yeah, there are other shows that I've watched that have really affected me, like something like 6 Feet Under, where
Mm.
I was so emotionally invested in that situations that like I was grieving when it ended.
Hmm.
But this is like, I'm enjoying this, but when it's over, and that's
Yeah.
fine. Like, I'm okay with it being over. But Lily Allen has released merchandise for her West End Girl campaign, and
Hmm.
one of the items is a USB stick
Hmm.
that has the album preloaded onto it, but it's in the shape of a butt plug, like a little miniature butt plug, and it's got the polka dot
That's
design on it
hilarious.
from her jacket on the album cover. What do you think this has done to his like the public's perception of him, or his standing as like a personality or an actor? Do you think it's negatively impacted it?
Uh, yeah. From my perspective, obviously, yes, it has. But I'm just trying to think from from a mainstream perspective. I think it has. I don't think he comes off looking very good at all after that Lily album.
Mm.
And yeah, yeah. But before we talk about Lily, just going back to Stranger Things, I'm really pleased that they seem to be bringing Will's gay coming out storyline to the fore in this final season, because it's something that was always kind of hinted at, and I don't think they've ever said that the character Will was gay before, but it's been alluded to quite obviously.
Yeah.
And it seems that in this final season, and the actor that plays Will, even though you think he's a shit actor, he's also come out in that time. Noah, is it Noah something? He's
Uh-huh.
come out as well. So it's, you know, it shouldn't be, on one hand, it shouldn't make a difference one way or the other if mainstream shows include gay characters. I feel like in 2025 we've come so far, um, and in 1995 to have a gay character
Yeah.
in a mainstream TV show was a fucking huge deal, and
Oh, yeah.
it's not a huge deal anymore. But there is something. There's this weird thing with Stranger Things because it's set in the 80s and because they capture that retro feel so brilliantly, and in a
Yeah.
way that it makes us nostalgic for a youth or a period that maybe we didn't really, you and I didn't live in the US in the 1980s, but we absorbed so
Yeah.
much popular culture from that period, from
Mhm.
that location. It has this nostalgic feeling, even for an Australian and a British person and people all around the world. And it's weird because it kind of plays with your mind a bit, but to see gay characters portrayed in the 1980s and to have them sort of be normalized and accepted to some extent is really sweet. And even though I know
It
I'm
is
being
sweet.
completely, you know, hoodwinked by the producers or by the production company or whatever, but yeah, I still feel quite, makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Well, similarly, what we've gone through as adult queer viewers with Heartstopper and
Hmm.
Bad Education. Not
Hmm.
not Bad Education. Is that
Sex
what it's called?
education.
Sex
Sex
Education.
education. Hmm.
Yeah, what we've gone through with those has been very emotional to watch because even though they're very heightened, almost forms of like fantasy, it's been very endearing and sweet for us to see positive portrayals or positive outcomes for queer youth after
Mm.
what we've all lived through as queer
Mm.
adults.
Hmm.
Um, now,
Yeah,
do
but I think
you
it's different with Stranger Things being set in the 80s. It just, I don't know, it gives a totally different effect, I think, to something that's set in modern times.
did you go and see the Stranger Things production in the West End?
Yes, I went with Anna.
Can you explain to me again what that is?
Yeah, so that was set in I don't know, was it the 50s? I think it was set in the 50s, maybe the 60s. Um, and that was based around and based around something called the Philadelphia experiment, which was something that
Hmm.
I believe, I could be completely wrong on this, but I believe Nicholas Tesla was involved or coordinated this thing called the Philadelphia experiment. And my sister-in-law works, as you know, for a big fashion brand whose
Yeah,
headquarters is in the Philadelphia Navy Yards, and that is where the Philadelphia
yeah.
experiment took place. And it's something along the lines of Nicholas Tesla believed, if it was Nicholas Tesla, which I could be wrong about,
I don't think it
believed.
was. Yeah,
Oh, was it not? Okay.
no.
Whoever it was coordinating the experiment, I think there was military involvement, and they were trying to, or the aim of the experiment was to try and move matter. So, like a
Yeah,
teleportation kind of technology is what they were trying to work on, and the rumor was that they moved a whole boat, like a massive military ship, from the Navy Yards to I don't know, to the Arctic or something like that. But the experiment went wrong, and like people in the military ended up sort of fused with the ship and stuck in ice. I don't know. I mean, it all is just like obviously it's one of these urban legends that has just gathered so much
yeah.
steam over the years and become more and more embellished. And that was at the beginning of this production of Stranger Things. And the literature around the stage show said that that event, that Philadelphia experiment, was going to be really crucial to the final season of Stranger Things. So far, it hasn't made any appearance,
Well,
but.
well, I was thinking when I was watching these first 4 episodes, where they were showing the Henry origin stories in
Mhm.
the 50s or 60s, and they show him in school, and you see a young Winona, or it's what someone is meant to be Winona,
Mm.
in the hallway of the high school. I was
Yeah.
wondering if this somehow ties into the stage production, because I know that was set back around those times, and I
Mm,
wonder if that's something that they're looking to explore maybe by making a like a television series version of these previous events, so similar to the stage
mm,
show, that they
mm.
might go down that road. And is this is a massive spoiler, sorry for anyone, but we're near the end of the episode, most people have dropped off. Um, the it seems to be
Hill, are you
that
still listening?
they're setting up this storyline that because placing Winona and Henry in the same sort of timeline at Winona, what's her name? Joyce.
Mm.
Joyce and Henry in the same timeline, in the same age bracket, that Vecna, which is what Henry turned into, is going to be Will's biological father. Do you think that might be a theory?
Oh, that had
Because
never
he's
occurred
like
to
maybe
me.
he's kind of like singled him out as like his favorite and looks after him, and he didn't kill him. And now, spoiler alert, massive spoiler alert, switch off now if you don't want to hear anything about Stranger Things. Will has come into this sort of set of powers similar to 11.
Mm, mm.
And it that seems to me that that might be the storyline, but I don't know if I'm just reaching, if that seems too far-fetched. What do
That's
you
really
think?
interesting. Well, I mean, yeah, it would explain a lot, but then also in some ways it would just be a bit too cloying, a bit too not predictable, but a bit too convenient. Um, I think whatever they do, it's going to be done really well. I think the production on the show is unparalleled. I think particularly season 3 when they opened the Starcourt Mall. I thought that season was just so incredible.
Mm.
So we'll see. But I think what, another 4 episodes or 3 episodes on Christmas Day, and these
I
episodes are
think
like an hour
yeah.
long, or more. So there's
Yeah.
so much more that they could explore. I found in this latest set of episodes there was that weird kind of 15 minutes where they kept making dick jokes, and I found that really odd. I was like, I'm not a prude. It didn't bother me, but I was just like, weird.
Well, yeah, there's that character who's Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter,
Maya Hawke,
Maya Hawke.
yeah,
What's that character's name? Robin.
Robin.
Robin is some of the dialogue they've given Robin is so terrible,
I
and she's
know.
a good actor, but she's
Yeah,
saying the oddest things, like, that really
yeah.
I don't know what they frame her as being, like, inappropriate or, like, awkward, but she's just saying weird things that don't sort of gel with anything, and it just
Mm.
you just move on thinking that added nothing to the story.
Yeah, yeah, there's been some odd
Yeah.
dialogue. Um, but we'll see. So it's very hot in Brisbane at the moment, isn't it?
It is. I think most days it's around 30 degrees.
Okay,
Some
that's not
nights
so bad.
it drops down. Yeah, but I mean, compared to London, I mean, if it was 30 degrees in London, people would be freaking out, right?
Mm,
But there's the difference is the sun is very strong here.
mm.
Obviously, the sun is stronger in Australia than it is in Europe, and but it's just a real sense of liberation. It's a sense of freedom you don't get with other holidays. Do you know that quote?
Mm-hmm. Yep, very good.
And and like just to go like in London, I have a very short window through the year where I get to go out, feel comfortable going out for a walk.
Like 3 days.
Sometimes it's cold. Yeah. Here, I'm like, oh, I'll just go for like the sun's just gone down. I'm going to go for a walk along the river.
Mm.
And it just is, it's an, I find that myself, I'm not like a sporty person or a super active person, but I do find myself being more active in this sort of climate.
And have you
And
had
you'll know,
any, I was just going to say, have you had any interactions with Australian wildlife yet? Have you come across any huntsman spiders, any pythons, any water dragons?
no, but Kate and I were down at New Farm Park
Hmm.
because I went down. There's a vegan, to wrap up the vegan bit, there's a vegan cafe down there called Dickie's. And I went down there, but they were closed the day that I went. and so we just went into the supermarket, the Coles at Merthyr Village,
Know
and
it
got
well.
some snacks. I got some vegan granola cookies and a drink, and we went and sat in the park, and there was this fucking giant crow that what's this thing that some birds have with sharp bits of like
Like shiny
broken
stuff.
tile or
Yeah,
yeah, so it was this
yeah.
like it looked like a broken piece of like terracotta pot or something, but it was like an earthy color, but it had it, and it like I was just sitting there, and I didn't see it, and then just this thing crashed down beside me, like this piece of like like terracotta crashed down and broke on me, and then the bird came and picked up the smaller bit. I think it was trying to break it by dropping it. You know, like
Hmm.
birds are quite clever, aren't they? And
Yeah,
then it was
yeah.
like picked it up and flew up into a tree. Like I don't know if it was putting it in a nest or so yeah, I've had a run in with a crow, and then I've been around where there have been magpie warning signs
Oh
up
my
saying,
God,
"Please
that's
be careful,
terrifying.
magpie attack." Why do magpies? Is it just an Australian thing that magpies attack people?
Yeah, yeah. It's only that species of magpie. And I saw one actually really close to Suncorp Stadium. I once I can't remember if I was with you in the car, but yeah, there was a guy on a bike. Because magpies really don't like people on bikes. And yeah, there was a magpie, and it was just viciously attacking. Um, there's always
I
something out
mean,
to get you in Australia.
people think you're joking when you try and tell them about magpies. Like it's such an Australian thing, and people can't imagine you'd be walking through a suburban, a city street, and birds will swoop on you and draw blood sometimes. Like they can
Oh
peck
yeah.
and scratch,
I mean,
and
Australian
it's
magpies are much
quite
bigger
common.
than like European magpies. They're like big birds. But yeah, they're vicious. They can be.
Yeah, so seeing those signs is very triggering. As an Australian, seeing a sign saying "Please be careful in this area," because I don't know what you're meant to do if one swoops at you. Like you like when we were children, we used to just run like waving our arms like this down the street where the
Mm.
magpies were, and they would attack you. I mean, I was
Well,
knocked off a bike once.
people come up with all like sorts of ridiculous things, like they have contraptions or they put sunglasses on the back of their hat to make the magpie think that there's a face pointing the other way, or they'll get their bicycle helmet and they'll put on all the tie on loads of cable ties, so that all these like
Yeah, zip
cable
ties.
ties,
Yeah,
zip ties sticking out all over to try and deter them. But yeah, it's pretty terrifying. But for me, it's the spiders. I mean, they're the ones that when I think of Australia, I get anxious thinking about the spiders there.
yeah. I haven't seen any. Because where I'm staying with Michelle, she lives in an apartment block, and we're up
Mm,
not super high, but I think like 9 floors.
mm-hmm.
And it's not really you don't really see spiders up here.
Yeah.
But I want to go and walk through a garden called the Roma Street Parklands.
Mm.
Did you go in there last time you were here?
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing because
It's
when we
it's
lived in Brisbane, they were still like building it, or
yeah,
it had been
yeah.
built, but it hadn't really been planted yet. But then last time I went, I was really blown away.
Yeah, it's very beautiful, and I think at the moment they have some sort of festive light illuminations. So I was going to try and go and see that, but that is definitely Spider Central. That is, last time I was in there, there were huge, huge spiders and
I
walls of
mean,
like spider webs.
see, I don't really you'll see like huge like orb spiders up in the trees and stuff. They don't bother me. It's the huntsmans when they come into the house or into the fucking car, as you and I experienced. They're
Yeah,
the ones that bother me. Like I don't mind seeing the orbs, even the huge, like even up in northern Queensland, you get the huge orb spiders. They don't really bug me so much because they're just in their webs. It's the huntsmans that will raise up on their hind legs and go into attack mode.
yeah.
Um,
I feel I've disappointed our 3 viewers by being in Australia. I think they expected maybe like a sunny background or like me with a view of the river. So maybe next week when we record, I'll try and like pick a better location so it maybe looks like I'm in Australia, because now it
Yeah,
just looks
maybe
like
you're
I'm in
not.
a dark room.
Maybe you're not really in Australia. Maybe you're making it all up.
Well, the Gaga memories would say otherwise soon.
I'll see. I don't want to talk about that. I was going to say something else, but I can't remember now. It's gone out of my head. It's very late here. I've got to go to bed and get up for work in about 6
So,
hours.
so when you say, you said it before we started recording, so I don't know if it's for the pod, but you said you
What?
were a little bit hungover.
Oh, yes. Well, because as regular listeners and viewers will know, I hardly drink. It is my only vice. But it's the festive season, and so we had our work Christmas party last night. And I mean, it was fun. It was probably about 600 people in a room with a DJ, and there was wine, and you were only supposed to get 2 wine tokens, but one of my colleagues somehow, I don't know how, I'm gonna have to ask her tomorrow, somehow like came back with a huge wad of these drink tickets, and she was just giving them out willy-nilly. So I had several glasses of wine. I'd probably drank about a bottle
You're
and a half of wine.
you're not going to get this person into trouble by putting it out publicly, are you?
No, no, because I haven't said where I work and I
Okay.
haven't said their names. So yeah, it was fun. I mean, the DJ was playing music for a younger generation, perhaps. So I didn't know some of it, but he did. To his credit, I did go over and ask him to play some Salt and Pepper, and about 2 minutes later, he somehow mixed in like a verse and a chorus of Push It into his set, and I was like, okay, well, um,
But did he play any Lady Gaga? Is the
he
important
did.
question.
He did not. No, he did not. I was very.
Well,
I'm still actually like, like it was one of those ones where everyone was like singing along, and we were all singing. What's that Sia song? Uh,
Chandelier,
no, what's the other one?
No
Uh,
Cheap Thrills.
no, the other one, Titanium,
Uh,
and
oh, okay.
and my throat is still really sore from that screaming, and anyway, it's ridiculous, ridiculous
You're
carrying
not
on.
you're not you're not you're not young enough for this sort of behavior.
No, we can't all fly to Brisbane, Sue, to see the Mayhem Ball in a stadium.
Well, I'm still very happy that I did that, but my feet are killing me. Like
Mm,
when you get old, no matter what level of fitness you have, and I mean mine's not super high,
mm.
just something like standing around for 4 hours in one spot
Oh,
does
yeah,
does things to your body. It takes
it
days to
does.
recover.
It does. Um, all right. Well, we should wrap up. But do send my love to your family over there. Um, and we will be back here on the podcast in your feeds this time next week. If I put it on my list to upload the podcast episode. And in the meantime, do send us a comment, share the podcast with people you know, and subscribe. And yeah, any
And
last
and
thoughts from
and the
Down
last
Under?
yeah, yeah, I'm still asking the same question that I was asking last week, and that is, who is Madeline actually?
Okay, see you folks. I was trying to think, what's an Australian way to say goodbye? I mean, you can say,
See you later.
to say hello, it's g'day, but yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
see you
well.
later.
All right. Well, we'll have to finesse that one for next week.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to bed now. Good night, folks. Bye bye.
All right. See you. Bye. Bye.